Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy, and in this video I have a December 2025 solstice message for you. So what I received was that our crystalline body has now been developed to a level that we are able to hold higher frequency energy and light, more higher frequencies. And at this solstice, we will be receiving a huge influx of light in the form of Christ consciousness. Now, Christ consciousness energy is usually associated with the solstice, mainly because this time of year we think of Christmas and that sort of thing. And lots of spiritual traditions focus on the Christ consciousness energy at this time of year, and peace and love and unity and all of that as reminders of like ideals that we want to live our lives by. But this year it's very pivotal to our awakening in ways that it hasn't been before. And it's because our crystalline light body is ready to really hold that energy of the Christ consciousness and embody it and live from it. And what I got was that Christ consciousness is key to unlocking the next level of the Great Awakening. So as we're moving from 3D to 5D consciousness, you hear all the time, talk about like unity consciousness and harmony and, unconditional love, and that is key to moving out of fear and division and all of that. And that is Christ consciousness, the kind of energy that we're talking about when we talk about what a 5D human looks like and what kinds of world we want the new earth to be, or what it will be, because it will be very different from the 3D. That's Christ consciousness. And I think we don't always label it that, because the name Christ and Jesus is so what's the word? It's been co-opted basically by religion and the Bible and everything. And not to bash religion, but where do I want to go with this? Jesus has been given a bad rap, basically, and I think a lot of people, especially if you came from a religious background, you almost might feel like you can't communicate with Jesus. Like you might feel like you can communicate with your spirit guides and all different kinds of beings and different ascended masters. But I think a lot of people feel like Jesus is either untouchable because he's like, so high up, his ranking, that he's not accessible to the everyday person, or there's just some kind of resistance if you came from religion and realized that religion wasn't for you. When it comes to your spirituality, you may not look to those religious figures any longer, like Jesus and Mary. And it's really a shame, because they can offer us so much. And truly, Christ consciousness is the absolute ideal for the kind of energy that really encapsulates 5D consciousness. So really, that's all it is. If the name Jesus or Christ is uncomfortable, we don't have to label it as such. But that is what was coming through in this solstice energy, is Christ consciousness. And the other thing that Spirit wanted me to emphasize was that Christ was born through the divine feminine. And again, religion has, crafted the story, and really every story in the Bible, women are minimized, and the divine feminine isn't really given a prominent role, I guess you could say, in that. And Spirit wanted me to emphasize that Christ consciousness is the perfect unity of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And it was intentional that Jesus was born through Mary. And it's like Spirit wants us to bring that back. I mean, obviously, the new earth requires us to move beyond the patriarchal dominance that our world is under at this time and has been for thousands of years. And what's missing is the divine feminine. And so this is something that Spirit wants us to talk about more, and just to remind people of that the qualities that are missing are why we are, the divine feminine qualities that are missing are why we are where we are now. And if we want something different, if we want things to change, what needs to change is to bring in and integrate those divine feminine qualities. So I wanted to share just a little bit of what I channeled in this message today with you. The energy of Christ lives within you and is awakening to be shared with others. Light the way forward into the future. Let innocence and wonder and awe come back into your heart, and share this so others can see is possible for them. Return hope and optimism to the world. It is necessary if you want to create a new earth. How and who you are today is what creates tomorrow. The impossible is possible. Dream it, create it. So I thought that was really beautiful. And just a reminder that the energy of Christ consciousness is always available. It's not, just available at this solstice time of year when this light comes in, but it's helpful for us humans to have different signposts and associations with things to kind of bring it to the forefront of our minds. And that's one beautiful thing about rituals and dates like the solstice, to remind us of what's possible. And this is just such a pivotal time, and in our awakening. And as we're moving forward into next year and beyond, we're really being called to embody Christ consciousness energy. And now we're able to do it because of our crystalline light body. I also got a little secondary message about the crystalline light body, and just that I kind of had a vision with it too. So it was like the crystalline structure of our body is like an instrument, and it's super sensitive to sound and vibration. And so what I channeled was, your crystalline light body is super sensitive to vibration and frequency. Regularly clear it, and music and sound are really helpful for that. And be aware of what it's attuning to. So I was almost seeing the structure as like a tuning fork, like an instrument that can tune. I guess like all instruments can be tuned. I don't know that much about instruments, but I know like when orchestras warm up, the different instruments, like they have to attune or attune to one another. And that's how our crystalline light bodies are going to be behaving. And we will come into resonance with whatever is in our energy field. So we want to be really intentional moving forward to keep our energy field clear and our crystalline light body clear, and also be aware of what we are coming in contact with. Like, what are we consuming, whether it's through just conversations or environments or media, that sort of thing, because our energy field will start attuning to whatever it is we are exposing it to. So we have to be a little bit more discerning maybe than, the average person who isn't fully awakened to this yet. And maybe their crystalline light body isn't really fully formed yet. And ours is still forming, but it's at a level that we are really able to, like I said, embody higher frequency energies. So we have to be really intentional about how we treat our energy body at this time. So I just wanted to make a little bit of a shorter video for the solstice and just share this message about Christ consciousness. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What's your history with Christ and Jesus? And, how does his story or his energy resonate with you? Is he someone that you call on or you feel is a guide for you? Or does he seem sort of unattainable, untouchable? Because I feel like his energy is so critical to creating the new earth. And it's unfortunate that it's so wrapped up with religion. And because religion is so problematic on so many different levels, as I'm sure you are aware. But I just feel like Jesus is saying, don't forget about me. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. And don't forget Jesus. Don't forget he is there. And I feel like he's going to be reaching out to people, like channelers, and I don't hear very many channelers talking about Jesus. But whether it's through channeling or just through meditation, Jesus is saying to call on him and to not be intimidated. And he wants humans to continue his mission of bringing peace and love to earth. So I will leave this message here with you today. Thank you so much for watching. And if any of this resonated with you, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.